I'm Kit from Selkirk. I've always loved to cook and travel. Awesome ingredients for our global kitchen. Welcome to our global kitchen. I'm Kit Muir. Today, we're going to bring a little Chile into your kitchen. Chile runs 3,000 kilometers along the Pacific in South America. I'd always wanted to check out those giant heads on Easter Island off the coast. And I came home with a taste for the really yummy food. Today, we're going to serve up gooey cheese empanadas and an authentic paella marina with a local twist. And we may even spice it up with a little travel talk. Now, Selkirk chef Mary Jane Feek is going to help us on our food journey today.
Hi, Kit.
Hi, Mary Jane.
Did you see empanadas when you were in Chile?
Yeah, definitely. There were lots of little, kind of almost like hot dogs down there. And I thought they were delicious, so I'm really excited to try and make these.
So what we're going to do to start is we're going to make a bit of a soft dough. So you're going to need 2 cups of flour. We need a half a teaspoon of baking soda and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. So we're going to put a teaspoon of sugar in there. And we're going to take 2 tablespoons of lard and mix that into it as well. We're also going to add a pinch of salt. So you're going to rub it in just like you would any kind of pastry. So we're going to use a cup of milk. And this is a little bit different because we want our liquid going into it hot. Whereas in many recipes, when you're making pastry, you want the liquid to be cold. So what were some of the other things that you saw when you were in Chile?
We actually traveled from top to bottom pretty much, and even out to Easter Island, which was one of my favorites because that's one of the places I've always wanted to go to see the moai, which are the giant rock heads that, you know, there's all the mystery around how they get there and how were they moved all over the island. We also went to the south, which has a lot of German influence, which I thought was interesting. So there were actually, you know, you saw lots of like pubs type thing with,
that would be
you know,
interesting.
bratwurst and
bratwurst in Chile. You wouldn't think that.
You wouldn't think of that.
No, not at all. I'll start to pour the liquid in, and you can give it a stir there. Looks like it's starting to form into a dough now. There we go. So we'll dust our table here, and we can start to turn it out. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna knead it a little bit. Good, so now we're gonna divide it up into about 8 pieces, and then we'll shape them into balls. You can feel it's a nice warm dough, and then we're going to let them rest a little bit before we put our cheese filling in them. So the empanadas can have different fillings in them. In Argentina, a traditional empanada filling would have actually eggs in it, and beef and raisins, and sometimes olives. So you traveled all across Chile. It looks like a really long country. Was it quite variant throughout the country?
It's quite different in each area that you go to. In the north, you've got desert. I believe it's one of the driest deserts in the world.
Wow.
And then in the south, you've actually got penguins because Chile is the closest part to the South Pole.
Wow. So these are filled with a lovely mozzarella mixture. You can start to pinch these closed.
Okay.
It's really important that it's sealed tight so that when you deep fry it, that gooey cheese doesn't come out. There we go. You can see they're a lovely golden brown. Now we're going to put these into our pan, and you can place them into the oven to keep them warm. And we'll just have the oven set at about 250 degrees so that they don't lose their crispness while they're in there. Now we're going to make our paella marina. And this is a wonderful dish. It's a traditional seafood stew, really.
I had it on Easter Island, actually. And it was done in an interesting way because they had actually put it over top of fries. I don't think that's usual, but it kind of made me think of like a poutine here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a different way of doing it, which I thought was really interesting.
Our Chilean stew is kind of like a bouillabaisse, which is what they would use in France as a fish stew. And so it's the same kind of principle. We're using our onions, garlic, some white wine, and a whole variety of fresh seafood, which is always the important part. And we're going to be using pickerel today.
Yeah, and I actually went ice fishing for the first time in my life this winter, which was super fun.
On the finder here, you can actually see the bottom.
Jan had some pretty cool gadgets for finding fish. Ooh, these guys made sure to handle fish really carefully. But it was my first time.
Oh, he made it.
Great, so let's put our onions into the pan. Oh, that sounds great. We're adding some oil to it. And we're also going to chop some garlic.
And so they don't really use a lot of like spices in Chile, do they?
Well, in a lot of the traditional dishes, there aren't. It's just using a lot of good flavors with your onions and garlic and items like that. But no, they don't cook with a lot of chili powder. I'll give you the pickerel, and you can cut it just a little bit smaller. It's really nice to use the pickerel and have that local flavor to it because we have such amazing fish in Manitoba. So this is a dish that would be traditionally served at lunchtime.
I know lunch is very important for them. It's kind of the family time for everyone to get together and have a siesta and just enjoy lunch together.
For me, traditionally, we used to love to cook on a Friday night. That was kind of our end of the week. My mom always would pick something special and we would have it.
Same for me too. I mean, that's why I love cooking for sure. I grew up cooking with my grandma and then my mom. Nice home feeling when I cook.
That's right. And yeah, it's time together. We're going to add a bit of white wine to this, about half a cup. And that's going to kind of deglaze the pan a little bit. There we are. And let that cook down. So we have crab that's going in it. So you're just going to open that up and start to take the crab meat out of it.
Okay.
So we have our seafood mixture here. We've got some lovely mussels, some baby shrimp, a little bit of calamari, and we're gonna add some jumbo shrimp here that are lovely to use. We're gonna check on our fish here. It should be coming along nicely. Oh, that's looking great. It really doesn't take long at all to put this dish together. Now we're going to add our shrimp in as well, because it's going to take a little bit longer to finish off.
Okay. And is it possible to overcook any of this fish, the shrimp?
Yes, definitely. It's important that the shrimp isn't overcooked, so we're going to cook it just until it's just nice and pink. So we also have our mussels here, and I'm going to get you to take the beards off of some of them. But we have this beard right here, this little tag.
Yeah.
So you just kind of pull it out, and then we're going to take it with our thumb and our knife and pull.
Pull towards us?
That's right. And then it's going to pull right out of there. So we can add these in as well, and you can see how the shrimp is starting to get nice and pink. So now we can add the rest of the items on top. We're going to also add some cilantro to it. Now I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper. All our mussels are all opened, and everything's all nice and pink as it should be. Now we can garnish it with our cilantro.
We've got to try this now.
Look at that cheese.
Well, it tastes amazing, and it's great that all of these ingredients are something we can find here, and it was easy to do. Thanks, Maria Jane, and thanks for joining our Global Kitchen. I hope now you'll want to try some of our chili recipes, and maybe even book a plane ticket.